Welcome to the Green It Up Club. I'm Michael, and since it's almost July 4th, I want to talk about healthy ways of celebrating July 4th. If you're not from America, you might not know it, but July 4th is a huge holiday here. It's to celebrate our independence. Usually there's a huge barbecue, maybe a lot of drinking and partying, and of course, lighting off tons and tons of fireworks. Now, there's nothing wrong with any of the foods on this list. In fact, I'm getting pretty hungry just looking at it. But the problem is that there could be a lot of toxins in this food, and you want to protect your body against any of that damage that it's going to do. And I want to talk about some of that really briefly in this video and discuss what healthy options you have to still enjoy all of this great stuff, but also stay healthy during July 4th. Some of you at this point might be saying, oh, come on, it's just one day. What difference is it gonna make? I live pretty healthy, whatever. Come on, you're just a health nut. I don't wanna listen to you. Hey, look, I've been there before. I've been that person. I've said that exact same thing. And let me tell you that these foods, these toxins in these foods can destroy your body and cause a lot of problems. Here's a list of just some of the things that you gotta watch out for. And we're talking unhealthy meat. Most of the stuff that we eat for July 4th is super unhealthy meat. So that is definitely primary on the list, but non-organic food, all that soda and alcohol and all that stuff is just terrible for you. You want to watch out for any of the things on this list. And I'm going to go through some of these things very briefly just to prove my point that you got to watch out for this stuff. Let's take that first one on the list, meat. Here's an important question that you might have asked yourself already if you're concerned about your health. Should I eat meat? Of course, vegans and vegetarians and animal lovers are saying, no, of course not, you shouldn't eat meat. But let's look into that. There are great arguments on both sides of the meat debate, but here is the main problem with meat. Here's the reason why you want to avoid meat. Confined animal feeding operations, or CAFOs, use an incredible amount of antibiotics. 29 million pounds of antibiotics in 2009 alone. And this accounts for about 70% of total antibiotic use, according to the FDA. You might be wondering why they're using so many antibiotics for these animals. And it's mostly because they have them in these confined spaces all the time and they're getting super sick. So they need to use all these antibiotics to kill off all that bacteria. However, it's totally contaminating the meat and it's destroying the animal itself. You have these really sick, dying animals, and then you kill them and you serve that meat to people. So you're eating super unhealthy meat. The effect of antibiotics is that they kill both beneficial and pathologic bacteria. This upsets the delicate balance of your intestinal terrain. This allows yeast to take over control, which leads to dysbiosis. Then the yeast can use their hyphae to poke holes in your intestinal wall, which causes leaky gut. I'm definitely going to do many more videos on this stuff in the future, but for now, just realize that it's super important to buy healthy meat. If you're going to eat meat, I'm not saying that it's okay to eat meat. We'll talk about that later on. But if you're going to eat meat, look for the grass-fed, cage-free, free-range. Look for those things on the package. You want to look for organic meats, healthy meat, because if you're eating a sick, diseased animal, you're going to become sick and diseased as well. And that leads me to my next point. You got to make sure that you're buying everything organic because pesticides are a huge problem, and this is in all non-organic produce. Here's a warning from the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the EPA. Processed slow-release pesticide-laden gluten causes intestinal permeability, imbalanced gut bacteria, immune activation and allergic response, impaired digestion, and damage to your intestinal wall. So just like antibiotics in unhealthy meats, non-organic produce can contain these pesticides and herbicides which destroy your body. You also might have heard of glyphosate, which is a very commonly used herbicide. And the problem with it is that it causes so many diseases. And this is just a short list of them, which is why I'm going to dedicate an entire video just to glyphosate because it causes so many diseases. GMOs are another huge problem because they cause so many problems in the body and they're in so much of the processed and packaged food out there. And there's a lot of controversy, but here's a study to clear all that controversy up. Let's look at a 2-year-long rat study, which was the longest GMO study ever done. Basically, rats were fed GMO corn and they studied them for 2 years. And remember, these GMOs contain pesticides and Roundup, which is glyphosate. According to the study, rats developed massive mammary tumors, kidney and liver damage, and other serious health problems. If those pictures aren't enough to get you buying organic food and staying away from GMOs, I don't know what will. That freaks me out. Hopefully by now you're starting to realize how important it is to buy healthy food. So try and avoid everything on this list, and I know I didn't have a chance to go into all these things in detail, so just try to stick to the organic, natural stuff. Don't buy stuff that comes in packages. Make everything yourself because that is going to be the best for your health and your body. Here's a list of healthy food options for your July 4th party. Organic, plant-based diet, locally grown seasonal food, healthy fats like coconut oil, fermented vegetables like pickles are my favorite, vegetable juice smoothies for drinks, raw dairy or kefir to maybe go with some organic cookies. And finally, grass-fed, free-range, organic, antibiotic-free meat. At this point you might be saying, Mike, this is great information and all, but I can't afford organic or I can't find organic stuff in my area. That's okay. I've been in those situations, which is why I made this list. This is known as the Clean 15, and it comes out every year. There's a Clean 15 list every single year, and this is a list of non-organic produce that doesn't contain a large amount of pesticides. But don't go running out to the store yet. Here's a list of what's called the Dirty Dozen. And these are foods that are super contaminated with pesticides. So try to buy all of these foods. If you're gonna eat these foods, buy them organic, 100%. Do not buy this list of foods non-organic because they're gonna contain so many pesticides and herbicides and they're gonna damage your body tremendously. And finally, alcohol. Drinking alcohol is definitely a huge part of celebrating July 4th. And obviously drinking too much alcohol, no matter what kind of alcohol it is bad for your health. But if you haven't gone out shopping for your alcohol, you may want to think about picking up some wine because of something called resveratrol. Resveratrol is basically a compound that plants secrete to protect themselves from bacteria, fungi, droughts, or lack of nutrients. It's mostly found in red and purple grapes, but there are a few other sources of it. Why is this important? Because resveratrol is anti-atherogenic, which means that it prevents atherosclerosis. It's an anti-inflammatory, and it has anti-cancer effects. And according to this study, it's an antioxidant that reduces oxidative stress and regenerates alpha tocopherol, which further strengthens the antioxidant defense mechanism. Resveratrol is awesome for you. So here's a list of wines that contain the highest amounts of resveratrol. Pinot Noir is actually on the top of the list according to several studies that I saw. But make sure that you're getting it from a country that has a cooler and wetter climate because that helps produce more amounts of resveratrol. All right, guys, now you know how to party it up and celebrate July 4th Green It Up Club style. We're planning on doing a few more videos to show you examples of what a healthy July 4th looks like. So stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching, guys. Let us know if you like this video and leave a comment down below if you have any questions. And welcome to the Green It Up Club.